Welcome to Your Condo Connection, the CCI video series designed to assist condominium purchasers, owners, and boards. We hope that you'll follow our series and listen to the experiences shared by many of our expert guests. In this session, we're going to take a look at rules and rule enforcement in a condominium. Sometimes they can be overpowering. And to help us through that, we have a very special guest today, Audrey Loeb. Audrey, thanks for joining us
My
today.
pleasure, Murray.
Now, Audrey, you're a lawyer with the firm of Miller Thompson, specializing in condominium law. Now, how many updates has your book taken in terms of interpreting the Act?
Well, the first book was written in 1980. I can't keep counting anymore.
Well, okay, well then we'll say you're a noted author.
Good.
Over and over. You're also recognized as a condominium expert, and really that's what we want to tap into today. Audrey, when we're talking about rules, all of this enforcement can sometimes have these connotations of being a police state, but the Act has certain requirements around them. Can you comment on these?
Well, it's not just the rules. There's more than the rules which a condominium resident has to be compliant with. There is the Act, there's the declaration, there's the bylaw, and there's the rules. And depending on which document we're talking about, there are different means of enforcing it. The reason we have the different documents is because of the percentages of changes, percentage required to change them. And so they have different voting majorities. But the issue is essentially the same. If people are going to live together in a community, they have to have a set of documents by which they understand that they have to behave. If people don't follow the condominium documents, you create a very unpleasant environment. And so the Condominium Act gives the Board of Directors the authority and obliges the board, in fact, to enforce the Act and the condominium documents. And that is done with the assistance of property management so that all of the owners benefit from a cooperative environment in which people don't exercise their wills and interfere negatively with other people in the building.
Oh, so the rules are designed really to help people get along with each other and protect each other's investments.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, so I can see how that would help when you have that many people close together, but the rules as it affects the owners, are there anybody else that plays a role in this?
Well, everybody is affected by the rules, not just the owners. It's tenants and visitors and anybody else who comes to the building or who lives in the building. If everybody was cooperative and courteous, we wouldn't need most of the rules and some of the provisions in our condominium declarations. But you're sharing space, you're sharing ownership, and you have to have a framework within which that is done. And it's the manager's job when owners and residents fail to comply with those documents. It's the manager's job to be the frontline person to start to get compliance in order. And only if management and the board fail in getting an owner to be cooperative or a tenant or resident, does it then go to the legal counsel for assistance in trying to get the individual or individuals to behave in a manner that doesn't interfere with other people in the building.
So a lot of the costs sometimes when we're looking at legal expenses can be because people just aren't being nice to each other and they're breaking rules.
Well, it's more than not just being nice. It's usually bad behavior. It's usually loud stereos, loud parties, allowing dogs to defecate in the common areas. They're usually things that are pretty offensive. The normal day-to-day stuff is not problematic.
Okay. We find a lot that people just don't like being told what to do. So what makes it palatable in a condominium environment versus any other?
It doesn't. The people who don't want to be told what to do, don't want to be told what to do. What the manager's job is, and the board's job, and if necessary, the lawyer's job, is to present to the individual the reasons why it's important that they do comply with the rules. And hopefully, and in most cases, people who are in breach of the rules or the declaration will normally, once told, fix their behavior. But there are always those who won't. And it's those who won't that become the problem. And so the Condominium Act says that one of the ways of resolving these disputes is through mediation and arbitration. And before you start mediation, you should sit down with the individual and see if the problem can actually be resolved before taking those significant legal steps.
Makes a lot of sense. Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Hopefully, we've been able to clarify a little bit of why all of these rules are in place in a condominium corporation. Until next time, I'm Murray Johnson, and this has been your Condo Connection.